Today, our topic is what makes a good life? Wisdom from philosophers. A good life is something everyone wants. But what does it really mean? Is it about having lots of money, being famous, or having a big house? Or is it something deeper, something that lasts even when things get tough? Philosophers have thought about this question for thousands of years, and their wisdom can help us understand what truly makes a good life. Let's explore some of their ideas and see how they can guide us. First, let's talk about happiness. Many people think a good life is a happy life. But what is happiness? The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle said that happiness is not just a feeling, like being excited or joyful for a moment. Instead, he believed that true happiness comes from living a life of virtue, which means being a good person. For Aristotle, a good life is one where you use your talents, treat others well, and strive to be the best version of yourself. He called this eudaimonia, which means flourishing or thriving. So, according to Aristotle, a good life is not about chasing temporary pleasures, but about growing as a person and doing what is right. But life is not always easy. Sometimes we face challenges, pain, or even loss. How can we still live a good life when things are hard? This is where Stoicism comes in. Stoic philosophers like Epicurus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius believed that a good life is not about avoiding problems, but about how we respond to them. They taught that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react. For example, if you lose your job, you can't change that fact, but you can choose how to handle it. You can see it as a chance to learn something new, or to find a better path. The Stoics believe that by focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we can find peace and strength no matter what happens. This idea is very powerful because it reminds us that we always have a choice, even in difficult times. Now let's think about relationships. Many philosophers have said that a good life is not just about what we achieve as individuals, but also about how we connect with others. The ancient Chinese philosopher Confucius taught that relationships are the foundation of a good life. He believed in the importance of family, friendship, and community. For Confucius, being kind, respectful, and loyal to others is what makes life meaningful. Similarly, the Greek philosopher Epicurus said that friendship is one of the greatest sources of happiness. He believed that having close, supportive relationships is more important than wealth or fame. These ideas remind us that we are not meant to live alone. A good life is one where we care for others and let them care for us. But what about success? In today's world, many people think that a good life is about being successful, getting a good job, making money, or achieving big goals. While these things can be important, philosophers like Socrates and Plato warned us not to confuse success with a good life. Socrates said that an unexamined life is not worth living. He meant that if we only focus on external things like money or status, we might miss the deeper meaning of life. Instead, he encouraged people to ask questions, think deeply, and seek wisdom. Plato, his student, believed that a good life is about aligning our actions with what is true, good, and beautiful. Both philosophers remind us that a good life is not just about what we have, but about who we are and how we live. Another important idea comes from the philosopher Immanuel Kant. He believed that a good life is one where we act with moral integrity. Kant said that what makes an action good is not the result it produces, but the intention behind it. For example, if you help someone because you want to look good, that is not as virtuous as helping someone because it is the right thing to do. Kant's idea is that a good life is about doing what is right, even when it is hard or when no one is watching. This teaches us that our character and our choices matter more than the outcomes we achieve. Of course, different people have different ideas about what makes a good life. Some might say it is about following your passions, while others might say it is about serving others. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche believed that a good life is about embracing challenges and creating your own meaning. He said that life is not about being comfortable, but about growing stronger through struggle. Nietzsche's idea is inspiring because it reminds us that we can find meaning even in difficult times by pushing ourselves to grow and improve. So, what can we learn from all these philosophers? First, a good life is not just about material things or external success. It is about living with purpose, virtue, and kindness. It is about being the best version of yourself and treating others well. Second, a good life is not about avoiding problems, but about facing them with courage and wisdom. The Stoics teach us that we can find peace by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. Third, relationships are a key part of a good life. As Confucius and Epicurus remind us, love, friendship, and community give life meaning. Fourth, a good life is about thinking deeply and seeking wisdom, as Socrates and Plato taught. Finally, a good life is about doing what is right, as Kant said, and finding your own meaning, as Nietzsche believed. In the end, a good life is not something that happens to us. It is something we create through our choices, actions, and attitudes. It is about living with purpose, facing challenges with courage, and connecting with others in meaningful ways. The wisdom of philosophers can guide us, but it is up to us to put these ideas into practice. So, as you go through life, remember that a good life is not about having everything perfect. It is about growing, learning, and becoming the best person you can be. It is about finding joy in the journey, even when the road is tough. And most importantly, it is about living in a way that makes you proud of who you are and the impact you have on the world. That is what makes a good life.